Hey, I'm Aisha from Arrival Plans, and today I'll be sharing some good to know information and travel tips for your arrival plans in Bangkok. During my 4-week stay in Bangkok, I switched hotels 4 times so I can check out different neighborhoods. First, I stayed near Khao San Road, the popular backpackers area, then near the giant swing where I was a little bit closer to the historical area, then in Chinatown, close to the Chinatown Gate, where a lot of action is day and night, and finally in Sukhumvit, where it's more modern and you have quick access to the BTS SkyTrain and malls. I think the best area for convenience is this area near the giant swing, or even a little bit closer to the water. That way you're near the main attractions and you can also easily and quickly get to Khao San Road and Chinatown. I also would recommend staying in Sukhumvit because of its more modern feel. Plus there are a lot of restaurants and viewpoints of the city, from bars and even in and around the malls. If I make it back to Bangkok, then those 2 areas will be my top choices. Speaking of attractions, the malls were a surprising highlight on my trip. The M Quarter has mini waterfalls and a great nature spot to sit and look at views over the city. Terminal 21 is designed like different destinations around the world, so you can be walking through Tokyo at one moment and a few minutes later be walking through London. There's also CM Square, CM Paragon, and Central World. They are huge malls with a mix of luxury, budget, and local brands. Also, there's a ton of restaurants and takeout spots that looked really good, even some with Michelin stars. And on top of all of that, they are air conditioned, so they're a great place to get out of the heat. On the other hand, there are a ton of temples and sightseeing landmarks around the city. You can easily fill a couple of days seeing quite a few and still not see everything. I think it's worth doing a bit of research and finding places that will most interest you and then working from there when you're planning a trip to Bangkok. There's also a lot to do outside of the city for day trips to places like Ayutthaya, Pattaya, the floating markets, and more. If you're wondering how long you should stay in Bangkok, the first thing I need to say is that 4 weeks is definitely too long, at least for me. The only reason why I did stay so long was because I wanted to get a feel for the city and its neighborhoods, and then also to see as many popular sites and local points of interest. Also, I don't like doing a lot in a day. I'd rather do 1 or 2 things and spend the rest of my day either wandering and eating and just taking my time. It's much more enjoyable and you come away from your trip a bit more knowledgeable too. So based on that, I would say that you should visit for 6 full days. That way you can get a feel for the city, do some sightseeing, take a tour or 2, wander at your own pace, and just enjoy your time. I'm gonna say this for every destination. If you're rushing, then the trip is gonna fly by. And if you're gonna take the time and spend the money to go somewhere, then you should really be there and be present. It'll make the trip that much more enjoyable. Also, for a place like Bangkok, where the city is huge and attractions can be far apart from each other, it's worth spending the extra couple of days so you don't have to cram everything in, because there are quite a few places that are worth visiting in the city. The next thing that I want to talk about is the weather. It is hot and humid, and sunscreen, sunglasses, and/or a hat should be at the top of your packing list. Also, a raincoat or like a light raincoat and possibly an umbrella depending on when you're coming. Okay, so this is a quick Google search of temperatures year-round in Bangkok. As you can see, the rainy season happens from May to October, and if you do a quick search about when to visit Bangkok, many websites suggest around November to February. Now, I stayed during September, and if I were to look at this chart and choose a time, I would avoid September. But being in Bangkok during that month, I honestly don't think it's a bad time to visit. Yes, it did rain for half of the day, most days, But in my experience, it only really rained at night, or it was really quick during the day. So there were big portions of each day where I was able to walk around and sightsee while it was nice and sunny and I didn't have to worry about the rain. So I would say that if you have extra time and you want to save a bit of money and you don't really care about the weather, September is a good option. The last thing that I want to talk about is the language. In Bangkok, a lot of the signs on the road and on restaurants have both Thai and English written, and most people spoke English really well, or at least had some knowledge. But I was only in tourist spots, so it might be a little bit different outside of those areas. There were a couple of times where there was a bit of a language barrier, but someone who knew Thai and English helped out. And you can also use the Google Translate app if you need to. Just make sure to download the language so you can use it offline if you don't plan on using data or buying a SIM card. All right, that is everything that I will be talking about for my final week in Bangkok. And within the next couple of weeks, I will be putting together a Bangkok city guide on arrival plans so you can find all the best experiences, must-try foods, a neighborhood map, and more tips for your trip, all on one page. Just add your name to the Arrival Plans newsletter list and I will let you know about new city guides and updates. I'll be sure to put the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this Bangkok travel series, and if you want to see what it's like up here in northern Thailand, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!